Welcome back to The Sweat. I'm Jessie Coffield. Their DraftKings contributor Geoff Ulrich and RotoWire's AJ Scholz. And it's time to break down tonight's Thursday Night Football Showdown contest between Dallas and Tampa Bay. So, Geoff, start us off with who you like in the captain spot. Remember, 1.5 times the salary for 1.5 times the points.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big contest tonight on DraftKings to kick things off, obviously. And, you know, we got to approach this showdown format from the fact, you know, we got to beat like 50,000 plus people here. I like going with the Cowboys skill players in the captain's position. Specifically, I like going with the little bit of a discount you're getting on Amari Cooper. I know there's a lot of talk around the league. CeeDee Lamb, is he going to be the guy there right now? I don't really buy into that personally. I still feel like Amari Cooper is the alpha of that group. He's the best player of that group when he's healthy. And I don't know if he's the best player, wide receiver in the league, like he says, but I definitely think that, you know, all things that we've seen from Amari Cooper in the last couple of weeks here, he's been practicing in full. He's not on the injury report, even played in a preseason game. It's really good news, you know, from the ankle perspective. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. And I think that we can buy into the little bit of fear here. I do think CeeDee Lamb is going to be more heavily owned. And you look at this matchup with Tampa, yeah, they're a good defense. Is their secondary that good? At times, they've been burned in the past. This same group, they've been actually terrible. Guys like Tyreek Hill putting up 1 billion points against them. So I think this is a gettable matchup for Amari Cooper. I think the Cowboys are going to be in a lot of pass-happy situations late in this game. And I think that putting Amari Cooper in the captain saves you a lot of money over going over one of the quarterbacks in there.
All right, AJ, what do we think? Who do you like in the captain spot?
Honestly, Geoff might have just convinced me to like change everything. You know, contrarian play, obviously. And he talked about all the reasons to go with Amari Cooper over Lamb, and I'll say nothing wrong about what Geoff said, because it certainly could work. The problem is the Buccaneers are the heavy favorites in this game, and I think they're going to come out on top. I think Dallas will keep it a little bit closer than we might expect if you're going straight money line. You know, a whole different segment here, but maybe you look at Dallas. But for your captain here, I just can't get off Tom Brady. I know he's the biggest price tag. I know it's going to create problems for the rest of my lineup. But, you know, there's just too many question marks around who's going to get the running back shares there, Fournette or Ronald Jones. You could obviously look at Mike Evans if you want to save a little bit here, but his numbers are dependent on Brady having a good game. So I just can't move off Tom Brady in this one. Is it the contrarian play that could work out for you like Geoff has there with Amari Cooper? Absolutely not. But I think you have to go with it here.
All right, so who are you stacking then with your captain, AJ?
Well, I'm going to stack him with Evans. I mean, again, tough ask to build out the rest of your lineup here when you're spending that much up at the top. You know, but the Cowboys gave up the 5th most fantasy points to wide receivers last season at 43.4 per game. Obviously, if you captain Evans, then you could put Brady here in this spot if you want to go that route a little bit different. But I do think this is a good opportunity for these guys to get going right away, have a big game right off the hop, and really benefit you in terms of your lineup.
All right, Geoff, who are you stacking with Amari Cooper?
Yeah, so, I mean, look, the obvious answer is you stack him with his quarterback. Everybody knows if you're putting Amari Cooper in the captain, you should probably play Dak Prescott as well. But let's think about this from the other perspective. If Amari Cooper's having a big game, probably means Dallas is down late in this game at some point, or it's a close, high-scoring contest. AJ's alluded to it. It's hard to pinpoint which skill players on Tampa outside of Brady, because he's the quarterback, is going to touch the ball or score. So why not go with the cheaper running back in Ronald Jones? Ronald Jones out-touched Leonard Fournette 35-20 in red zone opportunities last year. I know we saw playoff Lenny, and he's got the momentum coming in, but early in the season last year, Bruce Arians went to Ronald Jones. And again, we're in the regular season, we're not in the playoffs. I think Ronald Jones has a very, very good chance of getting a touchdown in this game. So, you know, around 5K in price there. Again, going to be much lower owned than a lot of these other Tampa skill players. I like that as a correlation play with Amari Cooper in my captain spot.
All right, so what's your next favorite play over 6K, Geoff?
Over 6K or under 6K?
Mine says over my script. So
okay, no, fair enough. I just wanted to make
and
sure
that's what the graphic says. So
I am so sorry for questioning you, Jessie. I don't know why I would ever do that.
It's crazy of you, but
yeah, I know.
I'll let it slide.
Look, obviously I like Amari Cooper, but we don't need to talk more about him. My sort of advice here would be, if you're paying up, and AJ has alluded to this, you pay up for the quarterbacks. So Dak Prescott and Tom Brady would be the guys I would be targeting over 6K. If you look at the Tampa Bay wide receivers, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, but we haven't even talked about like guys like Scotty Miller, Gronk, Antonio Brown. This is just such a loaded group. I don't want to guess where the ball is going. I want to pay up for the quarterbacks. You also have a rushing quarterback in Dak Prescott. We know we're going to get some cheap rush yards there. Brady, very, very good in the openers as well, averaging over 286 yards and 2.6 touchdowns in his last 3 season openers. Pay up for the quarterbacks, then you take the value with the rest of the skill positions.
All right, AJ, who is your next favorite play over 6K?
Well, for me, I actually like looking at Zeke Elliott. Look, I know if they get ahead, you could see more passing situations, but he's capable of being a third down back. He could be used in those passing spots as well. And look, at the end of the day, Mike McCarthy isn't a guy who's exactly known for switching up the game plan if they're trailing in a game, right? He's going to run the ball and give it to Zeke Elliott and find ways to get him integrated if they do need to go a little more pass heavy. So I don't mind paying up for Zeke Elliott here in this spot.
All right, what about your favorite value play, AJ? Where are you going to be looking in this contest for value?
Well, I know it's probably overdone, maybe a little cliche at this point, but I'm 100% continuing to look at Gronk in this spot. He cost you just $5,400. Everything has been made about his relationship with Tom Brady. And yes, some opportunities could go to Cameron Brate or OJ Howard, but look, he led the team in tight end targets last season with 77. That's more than Brate, Howard, and a couple other tight end guys who got targets last year combined. And until Tom Brady shows me otherwise by targeting a different tight end, I think Gronk is the guy to look to. And yes, as Geoff said, there's a lot of guys looking for a maximum amount of touches here. But I think Gronk is one person that obviously he's familiar with, he's comfortable with. I would expect him and Evans to maybe be the 1-2 in terms of targets in this game.
Geoff, when you're looking at value, where are you going?
Oh, did you say value? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Over 6K. No, I'm just kidding.
I like both the tight ends, especially in the big field GPPs. Like, I think Blake Jarwin is definitely really interesting as a big field sort of tournament play that you're going to get for like under 15% ownership, and Gronk as well. But I think the best play under 6K is definitely Antonio Brown for value. I mean, again, by all reports, this guy he's integrated himself into Bruce Arians' good graces, which is a big thing with like a veteran head coach like that. Bruce Arians saying he's moving like he's like in his 20s again here, and the relationship with Gronk and Brady, it's a thing. The relationship with Antonio Brown and Brady is a bit of a thing too. I'm expecting Antonio Brown to take a bigger share from guys like Godwin and Evans this year, and I'm not suggesting that Mike Evans and Godwin are going to be straight fades or they're not just going to catch any balls in this game, but when you look at the prices here, it's just hard to look away from Antonio Brown. If he does come up in target share even a little bit, we know the explosiveness. Dallas' secondary, it's not deep. And it's not deep enough to stop a guy like Antonio Brown if he's just going to be out there a little bit more making havoc in the slot. So I think Brown is by far the best value on the slate.